This podcast is a quest for well-being, a quest for a meaningful life through the exploration of fundamental truth. Enlightening ideas, insights on physical, mental, and spiritual health. The inspiration is love. The aspiration is to awaken new ways of thinking that can lead us to a new way of being well. Welcome to Body, Mind, and Soul Healing Conversations.
Personal oracles have been around for as long as people have inhabited this planet. Almost every religion and culture throughout history has embraced its own oracle stories and practices. The ancient Babylonians, for example, looked to the clouds for oracle messages. Called Nephomancy, cloud gazing is one of the oldest and most widely used forms of divination in the world. The Druids used it extensively but called it Neladoracht. Also, in the Western world were the ancient Greeks, who still retain a reputation for being oracle aficionados. For them, oracles were wellsprings of divination and prophecy, available to all citizens, from the common worker to kings, philosophers, and religious leaders. Oracles addressed personal issues, politics, philosophy, religions, law, social mores. No topic was taboo. This understanding of the relationships that bind together natural forces in all forms of life has been fundamental to their ability to live for millennia in spiritual and physical harmony with the land. Valeria interviews Anne Bollinger-McQuaid. She is the author of Everyday Oracles, Decoding the Divine Messages That Are All Around Us. Anne Bollinger-McQuaid is a regular contributor to magazines, a popular workshop facilitator, and radio talk show guest. Anne shares her curiosity and passion for discovering the hidden obvious and encourages us to tune into the guidance and support that surrounds us all. Bollinger-McQuaid's perspective of the world as alive, nurturing, and filled with personal oracles springs naturally from her Native American ancestry. As a child growing up in Kansas, she was intrigued with the idea of having Native American ancestors, but never considered her heritage relevant to her life. Her ancestral imprints began to emerge when a series of personal events that were triggered by her breast cancer diagnosis sent her hurling onto what she describes as an invisible moving sidewalk. Imagine the people carriers in airports. She believes that at certain times we all land on such a sidewalk, designed to carry us to a specific destination. This particular sidewalk transported her to a place where oracles that were hiding in plain sight seemed to magically appear at precisely the right time. Anne coined the term personal oracles to describe those mysterious messages that guide and often comfort us, and in so doing, illuminate an interconnected world that is tuned in and available to us at all times. Anne makes her home in Tucson and Taos with the love of her life, her husband Kenneth, and her dog Pandora and a cat named Moonboy. For the many blessings in her life, she gives thanks. Meet Anne at everydayextradimensions.com. Here's the interview with Anne Bollinger-McQuaid.
So hello, everyone. This is another audio interview with Anne Bollinger-McQuaid, and her full bio will be in the very beginning of this recording. But because I'm here live with her, it has been wonderful already to meet her and to be in her presence. I'd like to ask you this question, and that just came to me recently, like to open my interviews with other beautiful beings, is how would you introduce yourself without labels? Who are you in this very present moment?
Well, thank you for that. I love this. I see myself as a spokesperson for the universe. I am as a child growing up, I always knew that we were safer than we realized. I had no logic to build that
Mhm.
on, but I've always known it. And I think Spirit saw that in me and decided to work with me and show me that we really are all safer than we realize. And so I see myself as a spokesperson for the universe, for Spirit, for the spirit of the universe.
Yeah.
That's how I see myself. And I'm thrilled and honored to be that.
I love that. I often say, "What's not to love about that?" It sounds like a song.
Yeah.
It really, and I often feel that
Oh,
way
let's make it
too.
work.
Yeah, like a song, like music.
Yes.
So the
Yeah.
next question that comes to me is, how have we, why have we lost this connection with spirit that we're never really disconnected from? But what has happened to humans that we feel and we behave in a way that we are not connected to all of life?
Oh my goodness, what a great question. Oh, I think that off the top of my head, I think that
Yeah.
some of us came in. I first off feel like I was just involved with a bunch of children at a festival. Children
Mhm.
come in, they know it, they're connected. They were showing us, they
Right.
were dancing, they had all this energy coming off of them. And gradually, I've watched over the years that some, for whatever reason, we lose it. I personally feel like we probably all come in with that connection to spirit. We are spirits having a human
Right.
experience.
Right.
So we come in with that, but humanity and life uh, has a tendency to kind of whatever. I think you asked me why, maybe things that I've noticed is society. There's a certain people that might look at you a little, look at
Uh-huh.
you like, what? And
Uh-huh.
then you may not say it the next time. You
Uh-huh.
find the people that look at you and go, ah, yes,
Yes.
then there's your tribe. There's your people that we're all in it together. So I
Mm.
think that there's that natural pulling back from anybody that thinks you're weird or strange or whatever labels they put on it. And technology is playing, I believe, is
Mhm.
playing its part too. We get so distracted, just sound bites, so many sound bites,
Mm.
there's two. I think there's lots and lots of reasons. Yeah.
Yes, yes, that's so true, and there are lots of reasons. One of the reasons that
Lots of
come to me quite often is that we are dreaming a different dream that's not connected with the soul of the earth, of the universe. In a way, we are dreaming this reality that's very, I would say, not just materialistic, because that's part of the physical world and that's totally natural, but it's very self driven. So there's a lot of this, um, almost this belief that we are separate entity, that we are this self that's looking to fulfill itself, to grow. Um, and more often than not, we just become disconnected from the whole, and then we are living fragmented lives. Um, Talk to me about your reconnection to your ancestor imprints. I read your bio, and that's what the words that you use, ancestral imprints. When did that become very clear to you? When did that happen? I have an idea, of course.
Well, thank you. I know. I would love to share this with you and anyone who's listening, everyone who's listening. I first want to say that I do think that we all we all have that if we want to look for whatever the connections are. And so for me, I we all have different ancestries. Have a Native American ancestry that is just believes that the whole world, everything is connected, the universe, everything in it is connected. And so
Right.
I was raised in a family that we saw signs and symbols and things. And so I was seeing it on one level that, oh, I could identify that a cloud that means something. I could see things that were happening and they meant something to me, but there was a certain point where it deepened for me and I got to recognize a frequency that really was connecting, and it was intuition. And I
Mm.
guess today maybe I would like to really talk about intuition, other things too, but
Mm,
the,
yeah.
I had an intuitive sense that I should get a mammogram. My mother had breast cancer and not a good journey with that. And I never thought about it for myself. And so I had this gut feeling, it just said, get a mammogram. And I didn't pay attention to it instantly, but fairly quickly, maybe three days or so. But I followed that intuition, and they found minuscule breast cancer. Well, then all of a sudden I went, wait a minute, that my intuition is tuned into something. And it just became very clear to me that the universe is all interconnected. The signs that we're seeing, there's more. Go deeper. Our intuition, the things that we like to refer to as coincidences. There's a spirit behind, underneath, over, around, dancing with. There's the spirit of the universe. And when we get in the dance with the universe, the spirit wants to dance with us. And the more we dance, the more it'll dance with us.
Yes, gosh, yeah, I love that too.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's beautiful and it's profound. And it's true. It really resonates true to me, to my entire being when I think about intuition. So for some people, intuition is something very abstract that they don't really know when intuition is true, or it's just thinking, or could be energetic resonance from other people in our society. How do we know, Anne, when our intuition is speaking to us? What are the signs? There'll be, yeah.
Well, I have a really fun thing that I like to share with people in workshops and things. And it's like, create your own body of evidence on this. Okay. So this is a process that we all can do. And it is, if something happens, and let's just tune it into intuition right now. So you get an intuitive hit, write it down. Now, write down whether you did or didn't follow it, because you can learn both ways. When you follow it, you go, oh, look at that. And you don't, you go, oh, look at that. So I think that when you write it down, some people like journals, some people like to journal, some people like to write it, take it on their phone and make a little audio on their phone. Write it on a piece of paper. I like to say, if you're in a restaurant and it's not a cloth napkin, write it on a napkin, a sticker note, and put them all in one place, a shoebox, whatever you decide. I like to tease about, find a drawer, put them in there, and then revisit them. And you are going to create your own body of evidence that shows you how the universe is speaking to you through your intuition, excuse me, or any other form that you choose to record them all.
Yes. So the best way to do it, I love the suggestion, because that is the way we can know for ourselves, because it's very personal, isn't it? This journey, this dance with intuition.
Totally. Yes, it is very. And then if we're lucky, we'll get a tribe and we'll begin to dance. I have to stay on I'm caught up in your dance, but as you find your tribe and you begin to dance with them, you all validate each other there. Right. I'll try to let the dance go for a moment. I think if when we find our tribe, I'm calling it a tribe, or our group of people, or our women, our good friends, or the people that it doesn't resonate with, and move closer or move back.
Yes.
In your dance.
Yes, so true. One of the things that I heard before, because I have talked to so many people about this topic of intuition, and then I was observing within my own life, my own experience, what felt like it's an intuitive thought or suggestion. And for me, it has been thoughts and dreams and visions that are connected to love. They are connected to the whole. They're usually beneficial to everyone. It doesn't leave anyone or anything out. Everything's inclusive. And it's loving, it's kind.
Yes.
So is that something that resonates with you too? And it's not a fearful type of thing. Even when you had the intuition about doing the exams, the mammogram, were you afraid of that thought, or was just something that you embraced as a sign? With a loving sign, right?
Well, I think I I think that I had a discomfort because of my mother, but there was a go. It was like something had pressed the go button, and I was doing it just because I felt like I really needed to do it. So maybe fear got to be there
Mm.
somewhere in the ethers, but
Yeah.
was not the dominating force. And I really wanted just also talk about what you mentioned about love. I believe I am very careful about tuning what I tune into.
Right.
There are frequencies that are all around us, and am I try to stay incredibly well informed because I think that's part of it, to be aware of everything around us. But there's so much information out there about frequencies, the non-visible light frequencies, the electromagnetic frequencies. When we can become to realize that purposefully, here, let's talk about
Mm.
setting your intention. Set your intention to be tuned to that, and when other things
Mm.
try to come at you, see them. And it's a journey. I mean, all of us are on this journey, and sometimes we get something, an energy that we don't want, but recognize it and let it go. Maybe I love to, like, we keep going back to dance, but we were
Mm.
talking about before. But I am, when
Yeah.
I want to feel an energy, I will find myself hopping around on my own, just doing things, because you get a frequency off of that. So anyway, I do believe that
Mm.
paying attention to the joyful frequencies, the positive frequencies, attuning to that. If you feed it, it grows. If you feed the negativity,
Mm.
it grows. I
Mm.
feed the positive energy, the
Mm.
high frequency.
Mm. Yes, yes. That's tell me about it. That's one of my greatest,
Yes.
I would say, powers. Is to transmute energies and always
Yes.
find the silver lining. And
Yes.
yeah, it's, you know what it feels like, and really like gratitude, appreciation for life itself. That's what it is,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And then
It's like
joyride.
it's almost like a boomerang. A good boomerang. Yeah. Yeah. You have the gratitude, the joy, it comes back at you. It's a very positive boomerang, send the energy out, it comes back at you. What a blessing.
Yes, that's it. I apologize for the remainder of the phrase because I keep forgetting about that we are not in real time for some reason. So I apologize for
Oh, no apology necessary ever.
So let's talk. I mean, we have a lot to talk about your book. So your book, that the one that you sent a copy to me, and the Everyday Oracles, decoding the divine message that are all around us. How did you? Um, how did you feel inspired to write this book, and what was the intention behind it?
Well, the seed of it, that's another really good question. Thank you. The seed of it has always been in me. I've always, all for years and years and years, I've wanted to create material that makes people feel like they're safer than they realize, positive affirmations, things like that.
Yeah.
So I was very drawn to that. But once I started, so that I'll say it's seeded in me. It's seeded
Mm,
in my sense of who I want to be, who I
mm,
am, what I know is there to share. And before I even got the concept of feed it and it will grow, that's where I come from. So I came in with all that. And then when I started to see what was going on, after the breast cancer diagnosis, then the universe stepped it up. Like I was
mm.
kidding about, or maybe I think I shared it, or was it a thought I was thinking? But, the energy wants to respond to you, so it will respond to you. So we had things that occurred that started to show me more and more and more. And then I knew immediately this is what I was supposed to be doing, is recording it. And because I see myself as a reporter of sorts
Yeah,
from the universe, I try
yeah.
to stay out of the way and have my energy in it, but really speak what I'm given. The book that you are talking about is a compilation of stories that we had, where I'm putting together something that makes us realize, hopefully, that we're
Yeah.
all safer than we realize,
Mm,
that the universe is designed. Now, I always knew it. Now I know the universe is designed to support us. We just have to tune in and see. So that was what compelled me to go, okay, here's data. And so I set up this the idea of personal oracles came to me. I can't tell you exactly when, but as we were putting the book together, and I was working with someone who was an editor and the woman who was the agent for that book. And she said, well, and we can't do anything until you give me the formula for personal oracles. And so
Right.
I, of course, Spirit came through, but not like, oof, it came. All of a sudden, Spirit started to let me see what was happening and put it into form. So in this book, there's a formula, and the formula is need plus delivery system equals the message. So when we realize we have a need, the universe goes, hey, there's a need. What is it, a bird? What is it that we can work through? Is it can we get through with intuition? So you get a need, and then there is a delivery system that is available that I feel and have watched, that the universe goes with whatever's available, and then there is the message. And so that's part of what I was talking about before, about write them down, not just your intuition. When something happens that it's like, over here, look at that. You'll see what it's saying to you. It may not say anything like that to anybody else, because they're for us personally.
Yes. Wow. I mean, there's a lot there that you just said. One of the things that, I love how you said that about the seeded. It was seeded in me, the book. So that what comes to me is creativity, because that's what the universe, life is all about, isn't it? And the creator, the creatures, and then creativity. So that's really goes back to the dance of creation. So it's beautiful. Another question that I have for you. So I have too many questions. The need. So is that need universal as well, or this is something that's personal? Because I understand that the oracles, they are personal. The chapter 3 in your book says everyone has a personal oracles. So how do we know what the need is? And then when that need, it's really something that resonates with the universe.
Well, and I'll go back to what I was using as the example of the intuition. That was the breast cancer. And so I needed something that would alert me. So that's a very easy one to put out again. I know I've mentioned that a few times, but there is a need, and maybe it's reassurance. This is a little bit longer account that I want to share with you, but and it brings in, the second book is oracle cards, and they're cloud images that have meaning. And I was just at a book festival, I think I mentioned it, where the children were dancing and incredible, and we had they're images there's 56 images that I have taken of clouds, and we put, you could call them concept cards, but so they're all just define what they were. So we would let everybody choose one or two, and then they would look at them, and we would read what we were saying about that specific one. And I'm going to just for a moment barely touch about the events of the day, which at the time that this is being recorded all around the world, not just the United States, everything is being shaken up. Our governments, everything is being shaken up. And there's the thing that I'm, like to not feed energy into fear is out there. And so one woman came by, and she was choosing cards, and she reached into the bag and she pulled out two. And she said, oh no, I've got two. And I went, no, you must be supposed to have both of them. So she kept them both, and she looked at them, and one of them is a picture of a cloud, and it says pain and suffering, and it looks like a grimacing cloud. And then, but then she looked at the other one, and she saw the image that is a cloud image that we have in this selection of things. And to me, it is a woman on her back giving birth. She has a very big belly, and she's of some sort of an ethnic group, maybe black hair, but she's incredible. And anyway, she's laying on her back, and so it's called New Beginnings. And when she pulled those cards, the woman at the festival pulled them, and she got pain and suffering and new beginnings. She went, oh my gosh, I know what that means. So I share that with a larger audience. You can, in your mind's eye, imagine those things and see that what in my world, the way that I believe personal oracles are out there for all of us, there's one that is out there that I'm compelled to share today. I hadn't thought about sharing that today, but the idea that the pain and suffering we're going through, the card of new beginnings followed it. And I'm feeding all, I'm talking about feed
Yeah.
the energy you want to grow. I'm there. I am
Yes.
feeding that. I'm feeding the new beginnings energy on that. So that's a broader one. You asked for, were they just personal? I think they can be for individuals or for communities or countries. It's what speaks. I love this. What speaks to you? What
Right.
speaks to you?
Yes. I love that too, because it's almost like it has this quality of magic, of playfulness too, because now right, it's very playful. What speaks to you? So now we have to decipher. Let's get very open and receptive and see what it is. See, that's very childlike. It's beautiful.
Yes. And
Yeah.
let's be open and receptive. And if we see something, feed it, let's feed it. And if we see something that we don't want to feed, we just let it blow right on by us.
Right. Gosh, and it feels like a paradox a lot of times that we are trying to make the world a better place, but in a way, we can't really. Just one moment. My husband just opened the garage door.
Oh, it's real life.
Yeah, it's real life, right? Yes. So
I love it every day.
yes, that's it. So going back to that
There's
idea,
an everyday experience. Right?
yeah, yes, life happens in real time, right? You can't.
Thank heaven. Yeah, thank heaven.
Yes. So going back to that question, so we want, it seems like some of us more than others, we want to see the world in more harmony, right? Our shared reality, carrying more this essence of love, of peace, of understanding, of joy. And at the same time, we know that the universe is unconditional, loves us unconditionally. It loves everything and everyone. It never excludes anything. So, how do we make peace with that in a sense of trying, to make the world a better place, but at the same time, accepting what is exactly as it is and trusting the universe that everything's part of it, is part of the whole?
Wow, you're asking some really good questions. Well, I was so with you on that and imagining that maybe first we start with honoring each individual
Yeah.
and honoring a higher purpose that we can't see. One of the things that I think it's a misnomer for us to think that we're seeing everything, whether it's physically seen with our eyes or tuning into what's really going on. But when we honor each other, even I don't like good, better, or worst or all, but I'm going to use it right now. Even the worst of us, even the very worst thing possible, we honor the spirit. And I was thinking about this, and I don't know if I don't think I've mentioned already, but this morning I was thinking about talking with you today, and I was thinking about, I've used this a lot, and it's a French philosopher, and I think a lot of us are familiar. We're not humans having spiritual experiences. We're spirits having human experiences.
Right.
So taking the concept of we are spirits having human experiences, if there is a divine plan, and there are things that they don't fit into our parameter. So some of us are blessed to have a life path that is more pleasant to experience. There are people in this world that are going through their own personal nightmares
Right.
that are very real. And I think when we just have that honoring of each other and that love that is without condition, that goes, hey, we're all spirits. We're here on earth. We've got a human thing going here. We're
Right.
all spirits. If we can, I've thought about this forever, and thank you for bringing this up. I've always been, just since I was little, if I see people, it's almost like I think I can not really see it, but I sense I sense the spirit in people, and in that spirit, they're all good. I've had conversations with people I'm very close to that go, what? That person is not. But I think we can go right into that. Let's do the seed again. Go to the seed. See, we're all spirits, and now honor our paths.
Yes. It's beautiful the way you answer that question and you clarify that too. Right. So, Anne, we can, it's almost like being big enough in a sense. Like, I love the way you talk about seeing yourself as the spokesperson of the universe, just a reflection of the universe. Yeah. That would be exactly that. So we are benevolent. We want this reality to do well and to be loving, but at the same time, we don't judge and we don't force anything to happen. We still accept everything exactly as it is. It basically, I mean, we're speaking of love here. So many people talk about that's what essentially life is all about. It's love, isn't it?
I do believe I am on the same page as you about it being about love. And I think to love someone who has, well, we'll do some real fun terminology here. My husband's English, a dastardly deed toward you. If someone's done a dastardly deed toward you, then you just look at it as the deed and don't attach it to the person, And I think that if we can go through life and just kind of see things. Another thing that Kenneth likes to say, still does now that he's out of his body, but it's like topsy-turvy. I was raised that the sky's, that whole thing, but the sky's falling, or something like that. If you look at it as the world is topsy-turvy, it's grounded. Instead of, oh no, what's happening? It's topsy-turvy. Topsy-turvy goes around and comes back to center. And wow, this is a fun thought. Let's go there. Maybe as things are topsy-turvy and going around, a natural way of the universe is for it to go back into order. Look at astrology, and I'm going to get out of my league way too early, but the planets move all the time and they influence us all the time, and they go back into order. And I happen to know that as we speak, we're in a Mercury retrograde, which is a time when the planets run backward and give us a lesson and then move forward. So there's just this magnificent order going on that if we look at a tiny piece of it, it looks like what? But if we can relax into the enormity of it that we don't know, we trust. I trust. We can trust the universe.
Yes. That's something that it feels like it's for some of us, and I know for me at times it feels like it is a practice to trust the universe, to trust intuition. Yes. Would you consider that a practice?
Oh, yes. I think that it's and as we practice it, it grows. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the more we do something, the better we get at it. Imagine I'm going to go back to music again because I love it so much. Imagine that you're playing. You're one of these gifted people that knows how to play, let's say a piano, and you start out and you're playing and you play a more restricted set of songs, and then you become better and better and better, and then when you tune in, you're in sync with the universe on it. So that one, I've never thought about that little explanation before, but I do believe that kind of says as we get better at something, we get better at something. We just keep getting better, and then it expands, and there's no there. I think I've got some people that I talk to about, you don't get there, you get to a place and you keep expanding in a good way.
Yes, beautiful.
That sounded very ethereal. I meant that to sound more grounded. Good. I want us to ground ourselves right here and realize that that's a real grounded thought. Ground yourself and expand. Ground yourself and expand. Ground yourself and expand. Ground yourself and expand.
Yes, yes, 1 billion times to that truth. In a sense, it goes back to this, the concept, the mental concept of being in the moment, which is really a timeless thing, which time doesn't exist, and it feels very much a home. It's a spaceless space. It's interesting to see how returning home, as some of us think about it, it's really always here. It's always available, and it feels very expanded. It feels like enormous.
Yes.
Yeah, that's. I think it feels like freedom too. The idea of freedom, the concept of freedom comes to mind.
Well, you know what I'm hearing you say? See if this is what you're saying. I'm hearing that in the way it came to me, that we're always home.
Yes.
We're always in the arms of the universe.
Yes.
That's home.
Yes.
I never had that thought before. I love that.
Yes.
Quite that way. I love the way you articulate that for all of us.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. And that's one of my, let's say, foundational understanding, felt understanding. I'm a student of Vedanta, and I know you mentioned in the book about how ancient it is. The Vedas, they are very ancient, and this has been known to them for thousands of years. So it's that, that we are already home. We never left home, never did. So, gosh. So it's almost like the journey is returning, isn't it? It's never really, and it's not really a return, really. It's almost like a being, just be here. Isn't it, in a way?
Yes. Eckhart Tolle, we all, a lot of us know Eckhart Tolle, be here now.
Yes. Yeah. Also Ram Dass, the Here and Now book that he wrote.
Oh,
right.
Yes.
So going back to your work, and so you have two more books coming up: the Everyday Life After Life, and the Everyday Clouds Speak. Talk to me about these two books. Are they coming up soon? And I would love to hear a little bit more about them, the content of them.
Well, thank you. We don't have an exact date. We'll get back to you as soon as we know anything. We'd love to come back and share that date when they're going to be available. But I think I shared a little bit about the Cloud Speak cards and book. I'll go ahead and start right now, since we shared a little. I gave you the example of what the woman pulled the card, and these are things that everybody will get: a book and a card. So that is what we've developed. And the other is the Life After Life is the book that, when my husband's body shut down, my husband, when he was in his body, an Englishman who was raised during the war in England and came to the United States, or actually went back to Canada to go to in high-level aeronautical type developmental things. And I'll skip right now to say, when he came to the U.S., he was hired by NASA through Rockwell, and he was the chief engineer on the first space shuttle. I say that I went really quickly through that to give people, if you could follow that, an idea of he's somebody very technically oriented, also very spiritually oriented, but focused on the technical development of other things. When you read the book, you'll see the other things that he was involved in. But I use the space analogy. He was the chief engineer, meaning he everything came by him, and the first space shuttle that went up, and it had no problem. So he can take us, he can guide us. Now that when his body shut down after a prolonged stroke, that he tried really hard to stay in his body, he said to me, I am going to channel a book through you. And I went, oh, okay. He said this through a medium, and who Hours. She's incredibly well known, I think. And anyway, he said it through her. She told me, we were all there together. And I thought, channel book, that sounds like people who ever are familiar with early things where it was Jane Roberts, I think. She channeled a book through some people. And so that kind of thing's been going on with a spirit through someone else. And so, but he said, he'll be doing that. And so he said, you'll be the scribe. So I already said I like to be a reporter. So in our life experience, as we have written it down, chronicled it together. It tells other people they're doing similar things, but it's a validation of 60, I think, if I remember it, there's 60 examples in there of that are documented images, things like that, that are, it works through television, works through light, through frequencies. We have got developed a system with each other that I share. Everybody does their own system. The bottom line is, we're not, there's life. I don't quote this in the book, but as we've been saying this session, we're all spirits having a human experience. After we're gone, we are spirits again. And that doesn't mean we don't have to leave the people that we are close to. So it is with the intention to show that Kenneth actually edited what I have always said, that we're safer than we realize. When he got out of his body and was communicating with me, he edited that and he said, we are ultimately safer than we realize. So that's kind of in a nutshell, that book. The one, which will be, if somebody gets on our website, you'll see those 3 books, the images of them and a little bit of information on them on our website.
Yes. Thank you so much.
What else do you want to
know? Thank you for the description. And thank you for this, for doing this work in behalf of the universe. And I do hear that from you. It's just beautiful to see that. Life speaking, life itself speaking, which I kind of see everything, as the divine, as sacred. So everything is speaking in that sacred language. So I do have a question for you about, what was it about that just came to me when you were speaking? And then, when you speak of safety, so there we are on your website. The books are there, and you say that clearly. That really caught my attention immediately. It says, the evidence-based everyday extra dimension series suggests, 1, we are all ultimately safer than we realize. 2, the universe responds to our needs. 3, there is no death. There is simply a change of dimensions. So these messages alone, they already does something to the mind, to the logical mind. It kind of relaxes and it kind of rests within the breath. Something happens like immediately to me. Felt like a meditation that I was was a guided meditation by reading them. So is that, in a way, is that what you're doing? Like, it's a confirmation. It's almost like a remembrance, kind of reminding us that we never die, that we are safe, that don't worry because the universe got our backs. Would you translate into that too, like a confirmation of what we already know to be true?
I would love to 100%, because what we are offering in our work from the universe, and what the universe is offering through us, is documented evidence. So we live in a world where we need something to hang on to the ethereal things. You can ground ethereal things. I'm going to go back to what we kind of started in the beginning about create your own body of evidence. We're going to share these things with you, and we see if any of them attach to you. And then individuals, all of us listening here, find your own way to create your own body of evidence and prove to yourself that that the universe is supporting you, that you are safe within all of this. And so that's what we want to be known for, is decoding, studying things, taking other people's experiences and getting I like to think of them as putting legs, put more people legs out there where we've all had our experiences. And then that whole awareness. I love the image. I just want you, I hope somebody followed me with that. All these people's feet, legs, or however far you go, but all of us together, we just create this whole like a tipping point where we can be in that.
Yes, I love that metaphor too. Yes, a billion times again. And we're almost at the end, and I wanted to say that what comes to me is the message, your message to me, it was in a sense of body mind that sometimes becomes disconnected to, with that trust, with that intuition. So you your message, your husband, both of you, just what came to me immediately was the surrendering to love. Just surrender to love.
Oh.
That was the message. So you're carrying that medicine, that beautiful medicine. Thank you.
We're honored. And we're honored to be with you today. I have not met you before. It is my joy and my honor to be with you. Thank you for all that you are sharing with the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Kenneth, Lynn. Thank you for kind of walking together. That's what I always lived for. There's something about us coming together, and it amplifies this invitation to surrender to love, doesn't it? There's something about that, working in community.
Yes, I love that we're part of that community, and I love inviting everybody that feels that to be part of that community.
Yes, and that's the intention of this. Everything that I do is that we kind of guide one another back to where we never left, the home that we never left. So thank you so much for saying yes to this. I want to mention your website, everydayextradimensions.com. It will be clickable on the podcast notes. And I'll also mention the books, of course. And we will go from there. We'll continue to dance. I love dancing. This kind of dance. Just love it. Thank you, Anne.
Yes. Thank you for dancing.
Yes. Gosh, I can't help it. So you have a beautiful day where you're at, and we'll meet again. We'll talk again. Anne.
I will look forward to it.
Yes. Oh my God. Before we say goodbye for today, there's something else. Yes. There's a quote from the old Apache in your book in the chapter 1. I was about to ask, is there anything that you want to read, any passage in your book? But if you don't, you have not chosen one, I would love for you to read that quote.
Well, thank you for that one. Let's use that one. And I have it right here on my desk. So I'm not going to wing it in case this is an old Apache storyteller that reminds us. And this is going back to the signs and symbols that are all around us. And it's the plants, trees, clouds, rocks, fire, water are all alive. They watch us and they see our needs. They see when we have nothing to protect us. And it's then that they reveal themselves and speak to us.
Yes.
Let's all just go walk in nature. Wait, let's dance.
Let's dance.
Let's walk and dance.
Yes, I love that. Yes, gosh, I so relate to it though, because I have been talking to plants for as long as I can remember, to the stars too, when I was very little. So it's interesting how everything comes back, right, with in language. It's almost like the mind takes time to catch up what's natural, what's the divinity behind nature and everything, the sacredness of this world. So thank you so much for your beautiful presence, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much. It's my honor and my gift. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful day.
Bye for now, Anne. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about Anne Bollinger-McQuaid and her work, please visit everydayextradimensions.com.
To learn more about this podcast, please visit fitforjoy.org/podcast. Thank you again for listening, and bye for now.